Welcome to another episode of the Strong Family Project 10-Minute Tuesday edition, where we'll be talking about one tactic that came up in our family and how we addressed it this week, and I believe you'll be able to use it in your families as well. Mel, read us in and go right into it.
Welcome back to the Strong Family Project podcast, where we guide you on the path to raising confident, independent, and resilient children. So I'll get right into it. Hopefully you've listened to the first 7 episodes of the actual foundation of our path, because this example that I'm going to present really uses a whole bunch of these different aspects. So Joe and I had gone for a walk, which we do basically every day. It's our chance to get outside, to talk with each other, go over whatever's going on, and sometimes talk about issues that we need to address in our family. So this particular day, we went out and we were discussing how having conversations is super important and how I think everybody in our family needs to work on that. Because sometimes we get into this interview mode where we just ask questions and it's very quick answers and there's not a lot of listening and good question asking. So on this walk, we decided we defined the problem as we need to get better as a family in having conversations. And sometimes just between two people, being able to listen and ask a good question and be interested and all those things that are really important to become a good communicator. So on this walk, we decided that was the issue we were going to address. And then we came up with a solution. So I originally thought, why don't we have a little bag of questions? And then Joe's, I think it might be better if we do topics. So we basically came home. And the idea we came up with was we're going to have 2-minute conversations at dinner. And it could be silly topics like rocks or sticks or books or whatever. And we're going to practice the skill of communication and having a conversation. So we have one jar.
Yeah, Logan, our editor, brought them in that we identified this in a day, and I don't want to slow down Mel's role here. The concept goes along with a lot that we're talking about, which is you identify what success looks like. We want kids that can have good conversations. Then you model it yourself, and then you practice it together.
Right. So we got home, and instead of putting it off and saying, that's a nice idea, maybe I'll do it next time, I came home and right away I asked Logan, because Logan usually has lots of little things to tinker with, do you have any popsicle sticks? And he had these they're building kind. I'm like one of the regular kind. I mean, let me just put this off. But no, that's silly. So we just move forward with it. One jar has each of our names on it. So the person would pick his name. And then the other jar is all different topics. So they would pick whatever topic they're going to talk about. And I think our first one was all about spoons. But I think what I want to go back to, though, is we were using the path to get this to happen. So we went on our walk, which was taking care of our relationship. We defined success. Instead of putting it off, we put it into action that night. And something really beautiful happened because we weren't really sure how it was going to go. So our youngest son, the 5-year-old, just loved it. And he asks for it like every day now. But we went around and we had these discussions and they were so funny. And we learned things about each other. And at the same time, we're learning the skill of having conversations. So it was just really special to come up with the idea, to implement it right away. And we already see the benefits of it. And also it helps you to see where everybody's at your table. Maybe one of your kids might need to work on the ability to listen better. Maybe another kid needs to work on how to ask good questions. And because really we want to be able to send our kids out into the world, into school, into the workplace, and know how to communicate. And this could be a really fun way to jumpstart that. But my goal in this 10-minute Tuesday wasn't really to talk about communication skills or conversations. It was more to give you an example of how the path works in practice. So here's our little example.
Yeah, so big credit to Mel for taking action the very day of. I was surprised to see the popsicle sticks ready to go at dinner. And I do want to talk more tactically. Mel gave you the overall strategy of, yes, go listen to the first 7 episodes if you're just dropping in on this one where we lay out the strong family path so you can set this stuff up and you can redirect when you need to. I think this is a good tactic that a lot of families can use as well, where you can rip off pieces of paper. If you don't have popsicle sticks, you can make it happen, find a way to do it. And what I want to highlight again is at 4 or 5, Everett, our youngest, was the best at it. He had good eye contact, and he brings them out every night at dinner now. Like, he wants to play this conversation game. The bigger picture, I think that some people's voices in a family tend to be quieter than others, and there's not an opportunity to hide, but it also gives them an opportunity to be highlighted. And when you feel younger, and I feel this a lot, like when you're in the middle of a sentence and you're trying to explain something, you feel like you're trying to get it out so fast that other people don't interject with you, and you kind of rush your thoughts. This slows down the pace and allows for a little bit deeper thought, a little bit more communication, and everyone's individual talents can be highlighted. And so it was just more than we had expected out of this one tactic. So Mel talked big picture strategy. We've talked small picture, the actual tactic of doing it. However, in between there is what you learn when you do it and the unexpected benefits and side effects of it. And I think it really helped some voices be heard in our family who tend to be a lot quieter.
And I remember coming to you later that evening and just telling you how excited I was by how awesome it went. Because sometimes you might think it might flop, and it might flop. But in this case, we had so much more benefit to it. We enjoyed each other. We had more fruitful conversation, and everybody was able to be heard. We actually went around and each person would choose somebody. So then everybody had the chance. And then Everett wanted to go around again. So it was, and I think that gives you more motivation and momentum. So it just creates this situation where you see progress right away and excitement in your family moving forward. So now we're just going to keep adding topics. And then we had my brother-in-law, Pat, came over with his girlfriend, and we added their names to the jar. So it was just exciting because we're teaching a skill, we're having fun with it, and we're following through, and we're gaining momentum. So all this positive motion forward.
I think we actually did it in under 10 minutes this time.
Yay.
We rushed right at the beginning to get right into it. So if you found this one tactic helpful, again, share the episode. We're here to help you out. If you have any questions or ideas or things you're struggling with and you're trying to struggle to define success and you're not sure what tactic to use, ask the question. We'll have our Instagram in the show notes. You can message us right through there. Or second best, go right to the strongfamilyproject.com where we have the 7 steps of the path you can download and follow along as a free guide. You can send us an email right through the website with a specific concept that you're trying to work on and you would like us to chew on it and give you some feedback. So we have a ton of resources for you. Go ahead and take this, use it. Mel, final thoughts.
Final thoughts is if you feel like there's an issue going on in your family, please address it. I think the sooner the better, especially with kids. Not just a little thought for you to think about. If you feel something's off, discuss it, make a plan, and take action.
Back to the old Steve Jobs. I'm not wearing my turtleneck version of my sweatshirt today, or my dress up isn't a sweatshirt. I don't know what this is.
It's a sweatshirt.
This is nicer than a sweatshirt. Has a little shine to it. Real artistship. Try something. I didn't know if this would work. I just pulled this off the top of my head. Hey, let's try this out to see if it works. And then you can always refine it. Just do something. Be productive.
Yeah, don't overthink it, right? Because I usually am the overthinker. Oh, I don't have the right popsicle stick or whatever. Just do it. And then sometimes it'll take on a life of its own.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Strong Family Project podcast. Make sure you're subscribing and following on your favorite podcast platform as we're releasing at least 2 episodes every week, Tuesday and Thursday. And regularly we have a bonus episode on Wednesday because we've had so many topics and good questions from the audience. So we want to get it all in for you. You can download the path for free at strongfamilyproject.com. Thank you for listening.